so far so good, although I am a bit concerned about the use of the word transitional period of 2 years. Does transition mean going to something better after 2 years, more than 500 million over 2 years, or does it mean stop? This has not been explained, but it goes in the right direction. Public sector debt at the end of June 16 was equal to 65% of GDP, 274 billion. It's expected to go up in rupees to 284 in June 17, but percentage-wise going down to 62.8%. In 17-18 going down to 61%. In 18-19 going down to 58.4%, but they seem to have forgotten. But it is provided in law but by 2018 we should be at 50%. So it's already being admitted by this government that the public debt will not go down to what the law provides. But of course it's easy to modify the law. The primary balance, the so-called primary balance, is the difference between expenditure and revenue, taking aside interest charges. And that primary balance is negative. It will be negative at 1.1%. They are expecting that in the coming years, so it will be negative at 0.8%. It was 1.1 in 15-16. It's going down, expected to go down to 0.8, and in 17-18, 18-19 it's going to be positive. So let's hope that with lowering of the public debt, although not to the level we would like, so the primary balance, at least government can pay its way, with, leaving aside the interest charges. This is what is meant by the primary balance. On the public debt front, there is an interesting announcement that external loans, part of the external loans of government, perhaps you may remember that in the recent years, especially when we had Ali Mansour at the Ministry of Finance, I did argue that with him. He was using more and more external loans, and at a time when he could have used domestic loans, but he said, perhaps rightly, we can't just borrow locally. If we go wrong, the whole the whole situation, financial situation of Mauritius goes down. So we have to have a mix. So, but there was some sort of emphasis on borrowing abroad. Now it looks as if we are reversing here, and we are going to borrow more and more locally, and you can understand that because we all know that there is excess liquidity in the banks. So we are going to have a repayment during that coming year of 7.2 billion rupees of external loans, and that should help to some extent to reduce excess bank liquidity. So perhaps a little note about VAT, which is projected to bring in to the Treasury 31.4 billion compared to 28.8 in this year which has just ended. And by the way, you have heard that brings in 31.4, but when you look at customs duty, it brings in just over 1 billion. So the minister who we know in his previous stint as Minister of Finance had been a partisan of of duty-free. I said yes, I did mention it yesterday, we are going to duty-free, but I have always asked, what is duty-free? Is it duty-free or VAT-free? Or both? Or excise duty-free? In actual fact, he has reduced some customs duties, very good, we are all happy, we are given something more, that's good, but no question of being VAT-free or excise duty-free. On the contrary, excise duty-free, we are going to have the drinks a bit more expensive. As you know, every year, when the budget comes out and the budget figures come out, they also publish, government publishes, the PSIP, Public Sector Investment Program. So we have a PSIP, a document for 5 years, 2016 to 2016 to 2021, of 153 billion. It doesn't say where the past money is going to come from, but when you read the footnotes, it says it's going to come from also the private sector. But in the budget, no mention, unfortunately, of public-private sector partnerships. No paragraph for that. And so 153 billion, plus another 24 billion coming from companies controlled by government, assuming they have money. Just perhaps to mention that, I said customs duty is only about 1.3 billion against 31 for VAT. Excise duties is quite more, much more, 15.6 in this last year and 17.4 billion in the coming year. Now, I think that's what I wanted to say particularly about the budget. Now, let's have a look at some comments. Perhaps I'll give you my sort of reaction is there is a good packaging. But now we have to look at the content. The packaging is very good, the presentation also, even on the website, is all very nice. And only this morning I saw an explanation of the first page of the budget with the flag representing national unity, the white background representing, I hope, no corruption. And the waves representing all sorts of nice things. And when I saw the water go down here, I thought of this. So, right. But good presentation, good delivery also, good delivery. The contents is what, of course, is, and of course, in the packaging, you have this title, A New Era of Development, and also the minister at the beginning setting the scene, emphasis on adversity, Brexit, break with the past, new paradigm, new model, all very nice indeed. Now, the contents. 10 key strategies. 10 key strategies. The object is modernization. Modernization of two parts sort of, no, more than 2 parts, but modernization of existing sectors. And which I think is a good idea. We are hearing a bit too much about new sectors, although we do need them, and I will come back to that. But there seems to be some forgetting that there are existing sectors which so far have been helping us to live, to develop from 1968 $200 revenue per head to now $9,200 per head. Tourism, agriculture, manufacturing. This seems to have been a bit les enfants pauvres. And so this, I welcome this. I welcome particularly the points about agriculture and fishing. But of course, all this will depend whether what is being told to us, that they will be modernized, that there will be a training for people, or fishermen, for instance, that there will be yes, training particularly, we really hope that these things will happen. And also, now, leaving this aside, I suppose Pradeep will go more into these points, but now we also have to welcome the ideas that the budget is in favoring and having emphasis on entrepreneurship, innovation, infra and innovation. These are matters of great importance, which we must welcome. It says there will be 1,000 young people who will train in technical skills, 1,200 seafarers. So this then is promoting investment tax credit, productive use of agricultural land, reopening Dubreuil, tea factory, etc., etc. So these are going into the right direction, provided they are really put into practice. Having spent a long time during his budget speech on these matters of looking ahead, modernizing and new sectors, then he comes to public sector reform. And he gives a long list, I think, of 20 groups of institutions, government institutions, which are going to be merged. And I have only one comment to make. The idea is good. He better employ, but he hasn't provided it in his budget speech. It is budget expenditure, I don't think, a firm of change management consultants. I think he is going to be very much, will have to face a lot of lobbying. So, and of course, he has been careful to give no time scale. There is also this look, the regional outreach rather. He says he's going to have a sort of partnership agreement with India, and also favor going into African countries, and to that effect he's appointing 7 additional economic counselors. Maybe some accountants should get jobs there. Can do the job properly. And of course, Metro Express is announced to us. I'm a little bit concerned about the National Employment Agency which is announced. To start with, before I go into this, the National we have been told that there will be these amalgamation, these mergers of a lot of institutions, and yet we are announced a new institution, National Employment Agency. We are announced a new CEV, so subsidiary company for renewable energy. So if you remove here, debit here, credit here. So I'm not too sure. And the National Employment Agency, when I heard this,